Kevin, you're on the air. Good afternoon, Kevin.
Good afternoon, Homer.
614-5, the record of Dan Needles, the sports trivia savant, sports director at Channel 12. He also defeated the famous Schwab of ESPN lore. You ready to go?
Sure, I'll give it a shot.
Do you know how the game is played?
Yes, I do.
You were going to say something?
Yeah, that doesn't sound very promising. You ready to go?
You know what?
Sure, I'll give it a
You know what
shot.
I'm thinking?
Yep.
Pizza. Of course, we can decide whether you get a pizza pie or a slice.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
And we apologize for nothing. First question is the Marquette trivia question, the Big Papa Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. And I say this, and only Rainman gets away with it. Don't fiddle and diddle. If you don't know, just pass, move on to the next question. Maybe it'll hit you as it does to him. And the next question, the last question, might be easier than one you pass on.
Okay, sounds
Kevin,
good.
here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Where was the Final Four when Marquette lost to Kansas?
Indianapolis.
Incorrect. How many national championships for Jim Calhoun at UConn?
2.
Correct. In 1973, this Miami defensive back was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Dick Anderson.
Correct. Career receiving yards. Jerry Rice is number 1. Who's number 2 or number 3? You can give me either player.
Chris Carter and Marvin Harrison.
Incorrect. He scored the first Packer touchdown in a Super Bowl.
Max McGee.
Correct. He scored the only Packers rushing touchdown in the Super Bowl win over New England.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
He scored the only Packer rushing touchdown in the Super Bowl win over New England.
Brett Favre.
Correct. He's the only Bucs coach to be named Coach of the Year.
Don Nelson.
Correct. 75-76, he had 238 blocks for the Bucs, tying Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the team record.
Elmore Smith.
Correct. Within 5, how many home runs for Mark McGwire in his rookie season?
49.
Correct. For what team did Doug Davis make his Major League debut in 1999?
Texas Rangers.
Correct. Name the last school not in the SEC to win the BCS championship.
Texas.
Correct. He played for the Packers. He was the BCS MVP in the game played January 3rd, 2001.
Oh, boy. Pass.
He was the first Michigan quarterback to throw for 300 yards in a game.
Chad Henne.
Incorrect. Name the last team to beat the Vikings in a Super Bowl. It was 1976.
Oakland Raiders.
Correct. Who scored the... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, boy.
I believe I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. Kevin with 10. Ooh. I think he's got at least a pizza. Let's go to Rainman. Dan Needles, sports director, Channel 12. It's another week of Rainman. Last week, per usual, a whooping of somebody. I believe the final was 10-3. You're amazing. Yes. Why do I feel I'm a little sling blade, or what was that guy's name?
I sure do like them French fried taters.
There you go. First question is the Big Papa Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. 3, 2, 1, go. Where was the Final Four when Marquette lost to Kansas?
New Orleans.
Correct. How many national championships for Jim Calhoun at UConn?
2.
Correct. In 1973, this Miami defensive back was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Dick Anderson.
Correct. Career receiving yards, Jerry Rice, number 1. Who's number 2 or number 3? I'll take either player.
Marvin Harrison.
Incorrect. He scored the first Packers touchdown in a Super Bowl.
Max McGee.
Correct. He scored the only Packers rushing touchdown in the Super Bowl win over New England.
Brett Favre.
I'll have to go to the judges. Correct, kind of. He's the only Bucs coach to be named Coach of the Year.
Don Nelson.
Correct. 75-76. He had 238 block shots for the Bucs, tying Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's team record.
Elmore Smith.
Correct. Within 5, how many home runs for Mark McGwire in his rookie season?
49.
Correct. For what team did Doug Davis make his major league debut in 1999?
Oh, boy. Pass.
Name the last school not in the SEC to win the BCS championship.
USC?
Incorrect. He played for the Packers. He was the BCS MVP in the game played January 3rd, 2001.
Marshall.
Correct. He was the first Michigan quarterback to throw for 300 yards in a game.
Jim Harbaugh.
Correct. Name the last team to beat the Vikings in a Super Bowl. It was 1976.
Raiders.
That's correct. Who scored the most points? Who has scored the most points in Wisconsin basketball history?
Michael Finley. Orlando
Incorrect.
Tucker.
Incorrect. For what team did Doug Davis make his major league debut in 1999?
Arizona.
Incorrect. Well, Kevin, and I have to bring in Thunder to make the executive decision. Kevin with 10, Rainman with 10, though the issue is Brett Favre or Dorsey Levens. Now, I think we should have him come back for a second contest because I don't know if you say the first.
I think you give it to Needles, but I also think Kevin comes back.
All right. Kevin?
Yes.
Nicely done.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, Homer. Last summer, I took on Needles. I tied him once again, 9 apiece, and then I lost the rematch by 1. And oh boy!
Wow. Well, you know what? You got one pizza, and we'll have you back next week, and I look forward to it. I'll make sure I'm on my game with the questions. Nicely done,
Okay,
Kevin.
yeah, I was just driving home from work, and I called in on a whim, and I was amazed I got through. And
Well, we had somebody else. That's why you got through, and then they dropped off at the last minute, and you bailed us out and helped Lightning back at the studio.
Oh man,
Nicely done, Kevin. I think you guys, between the two of you got every question. Torrance Marshall was the player for Oklahoma who went on to play for the Packers. And yes, Jim Harbaugh, October 25th, 1986, the first Michigan quarterback to throw for 300 yards in a single game. And Brett Favre had the rushing touchdown in the win over New England. Kevin, we will talk next week. This is, again, the All Canada Show. The vacation prize go to booth 413. They've got various seminars. Our good friend Norm McCrate has one at 7 o'clock tonight. This is going on throughout the weekend till 9 tonight, Friday 3 to 9, tomorrow 10 to 6, Sunday 10 to 4. And, yes, yesterday, you were listening right. I said that if Marquette lost, didn't see any way it could happen, I would not come back. Well, since we were obligated and happy to be here at the All Canada Show, I will take tomorrow off. And if the Vikings win the Super Bowl, I'll need another mental health day the day after the Super Bowl. I'm no Chamorro. This is ESPN Wisconsin, ESPNWisconsin.com.